constantly amazes me with the range of things it puts out. We've got comedy specials, musicals, Emmy award-winning shows, and now a new favorite Christmas classic about a shirtless snowman, Hot Frosty. Yup, folks, that's the actual name of this movie. And if you think that is crazy, just wait until you hear the plot of this movie. Just like every heartwarming Christmas romance, it's about a woman who's single, of course, small town. But this woman, she doesn't meet a farmer or a prince. Instead, she meets Frosty the Himbo Snowman. This is rated PG, by the way. I double checked like 8 times because I could not believe it. Apparently, topless men, excessive innuendos, it's just totally family friendly now. Magic Mike and Hot Frosty, they might as well be Disney Channel original movies. I don't want to give too much away right now, so grab a candy cane, your emotional support Squishmallow, and let's dive in. So as the story starts off, we see that she is obviously single because her stair's broken, her heat doesn't work, and she doesn't cook for herself. Because everyone knows, only men can do carpentry and electrical work. And I mean, like, why would she need to know how to cook when she doesn't have a husband or kids to feed? She's essentially a useless woman on the fringes of society. I love that the messaging of all these holiday romance movies are essentially the same. If you are a single woman on Christmas, you are sad, you are lonely, you have nothing to live for, you are more tragic than all the world wars combined. But if you're a single man on Christmas, that's a Christmas miracle. But before our main character Kathy can get her freak on with Frosty, she's gotta head out to work at her diner.
Do you have any chocolate chip pancakes today?
Good morning, Miss Megan. Well, chocolate chip pancakes are usually for Sunday brunch, but you know what? I'll make you some if your mom says it's okay.
It's chocolate chip pancakes. Your chef just has to pour a couple chips in the batter. It's not that special, Kathy. Also, is this not on your regular menu? I'm starting to see why you don't have your heat fixed, and it's not a man issue, it's a money-related one. Who's eating at a diner that doesn't have pancake basics? If an IHOP moves in next door in your little podunk town, Kathy, you are screwed. Kathy's food is probably not the reason why people are nice to her, but good thing for her, she gets a lot of sympathy because she's a pitiful widow.
So, this just came in yesterday. It reminds me of the night that I met you. The second I saw it, I knew it had come to me for a reason. And then you walked in.
It's very sweet, but I really don't need it.
She's not gonna let you leave without it.
Oh yeah, that red scarf is gonna make her the town siren for sure. You best believe when she walks down the street in that oversized, chunky red knit, the men are gonna be breaking up with all their girlfriends and wives. Okay, but for real, why are the neighbors so concerned about her marital status? Is it illegal to be single in this town or something? The girl brought you lunch. Say thank you, let her go. I don't know where this couple got their social skills from, but it's not the 21st century. I don't even think it's the 20th century. Just look at how they talk to each other.
Well done, you.
Well done, old sport. Like, who says that? Is this script written by F. Scott Fitzgerald? I feel like no one has said that since 1925. Also, I know that they're old, but they're not that old. This whole scene just feels like a bot wrote it. Like the author typed into AI, write me a scene where old magical couple who speaks in riddles gives magical red scarf to sad, pitiful single woman. But lucky for Kathy, her neighbor was telling the truth about the scarf being magical because not even a minute later, she finds herself a man. Well, not just any man. A snowman.
Well, clearly you've been doing your push-ups. You know what? You keep it.
Oh yeah, that's not weird at all. I mean, I often thirst over the icy abdominals of a snowman when I pass them. I mean, I actually am banned from Disney on Ice because of it. You know, I saw Olaf, there was a glimmer in his eye, one thing led to another. I can't legally say the rest of the story, but long story short, I am banned from that show for life. Okay, but real talk, that's weird as bleep. I don't know why Kathy is flirting with the snowman. But you know what's somehow even worse is the fact that she takes the scarf that her neighbor just gave her and puts it on this snowman directly outside the shop. Like, they're gonna see that. Wait, but I can relate to this a little bit because it reminds me of being a straight girl in theater and the only straight guy in the cast is like 5'3". He's wearing a ton of Axe body spray. He's got the face of Golem, but he's got Timothy Chalamet hair and he is the only romantic option. So suddenly he is Jacob Elordi, pre-beard. Oh my God, I can't even look at that picture. I'm in mourning, it's too soon. Anyway, luckily for Kathy, the magical power of her scarf and her Android phone brings this himbo snowman to life. Okay, Okay, we need to talk about the placement of this scarf on this anatomically correct snowman. How is this movie PG? I feel like I'm watching a scarf striptease. The only good thing I could say about this movie so far is that we're 10 minutes in and at least we've gotten the exposition done. I hate when movies drag, but I feel like maybe it's too fast. Immediately he comes to life, goes from knowing nothing, being nonverbal, to this.
Hi there. Oh. What was that?
I'm not sure. Let's investigate.
I really hope that lady is the town's detective because that sounded pretty suggestive for a PG movie. Also, it is December and there was a naked man running around the town square. I don't care if that was naked Jacob Elordi, pre-beard of course. I am minding my business and I'm getting out of there. But that doesn't happen because the women in this town are too trusting of strange men.
I was made of snow and now I'm made of not snow. Can you believe it?
No, I really, can't believe that. Aren't you cold?
No, I'm not cold.
I have a diner. Why don't you come inside and I can get you some food?
I have never had food before.
Great.
I need to come to this town and teach a seminar on stranger danger because Kathy, what are you doing? You just approached a potentially mentally unstable individual, told them your place of employment, and then after he said, I've never had food before, no follow-up questions. A real-life woman would ask questions. Actually, a real-life woman would not approach this man. I am certain that this movie was written by a man. I mean, just watch this interaction.
I feel strange.
How did you know I took that photo? Were you following me? Is this part of the joke?
I feel hot. Really hot?
No, really cold.
Why are you touching this man right now? Oh my god, Kathy! I don't care if you think he isn't dangerous. This man was just caught eating the jellies off the table in your diner. And maybe that's not arson. Maybe he didn't murder anyone, but that's still weird. Kathy in this movie reminds me of that one meme from the Bird Box where Sandra Bullock is in the boat, she's got the blindfold on, and there's all these red flags around her. Like, girl, please have some self-awareness. While I search for Kathy's fight or flight instinct, the town sheriff and deputy search for a suspect who shook up the town square last night.
Man running naked in the plaza around 1. Old Mortimer and Ethel Jennings saw him while walking their dog. Mortimer went out without his glasses, couldn't get a clear view.
And Ethel?
No, she wouldn't say. Just kept insisting that he was doing a public service.
I love that the old woman is calling not because she actually cares to see if the guy got put in jail or not, is she just wants to know his name so she can stalk him online. Honey, you were 70 years old at least, like, and married. Let's calm down. And you know who also needs to calm down? The town pediatrician, who says this after examining Jack.
Look, everything about Christmas. Santa, elves, flying reindeer. The scientist in me knows they shouldn't exist. Wouldn't the world be a little bit better if they did?
This woman is a medical doctor, and in her professional opinion, Jack is a snowman. This town is screwed if anyone's kids get sick. I really want to know the demographic this movie was written for because it's kind of all over the place. Is this for middle-aged women? Is this for kids? We've got men streaking, old women thirsting over man streaking, and now I'm supposed to believe in magic and elves? We're only 18 minutes in and I am exhausted. Also, side note, why did she bring him to a pediatrician? Were there no adult doctors in town?
How would you like to stay with me, Jack? I could take care of you as a medical professional.
I want to stay with Kathy.
What? No, that's absolutely not. Kathy can't take care of you. She could barely take care of herself.
It's so crazy that there's a discussion about who is taking this random man home. Like he's a puppy or something. If this was LA, he'd be out on the streets or he'd be on TikTok live begging for money. And another thing I want to bring up. This guy was literally born yesterday. He has the mind of a child. Do we not find it unsettling that these women are thirsting over him? I don't know about everyone else, but I'm not attracted to a man with a brain of a child. Just seems a lot creepy. But not to Kathy, because she brings him home and he immediately confesses to her.
I love you.
You don't love me.
Yes, I do. I love you.
No, you don't. Look, when you say you love a house or soup, those are things, that's fine. But when you say you love a person, it means way more.
Sounds like she's projecting. I don't know why she's still having conversations with this man. For all we know, he could be a serial killer. Just listen to this casual dinner topic he brings up.
Earlier today, I was checking the house for vampires, and I went downstairs. What's cancer?
It's like having a conversation with a 6-year-old, except this one is capable of killing you. I love that so many Christmas romance movies basically have the plot of a horror film. Woman falls in love with farmer who proposes to her after a week. She quits her high-paying city job and her friends never hear from her again. Wow, so romantic. That sounds like the plot of Taken 4. Take this movie for example. This woman woman has got a strange man in her house, and she's being brainwashed by her entire town to believe that he is a magical snowman. And it's all because they would rather tell her that than have her be single on Christmas. But good news for Jack, Kathy is so desperate and single, she ends up hanging out with him.
I mean, you say you're a snowman, right? Hawaii, super warm, even at Christmas time. I'm sure you're gonna get there someday, somehow.
I love that Kathy has just fully accepted that he is a snowman. There was no lengthy investigation of her putting things together, no prophetic dreams. Like, even Bella Swan Google searched to see if Edward was a vampire. Kathy was just like, you know, he hates hot things, he runs cold. The only explanation, he must be a snowman. A snowman who happens to fix roofs and has wildly inappropriate interactions with old women.
You want me to get behind you and push?
Ready for me? I'm ready.
Here I go.
Okay, it's working.
Okay, great.
This is a crazy scene. This old woman sees some eye candy on a roof and crashes her car trying to back up to look at him. And then to make matters worse, she proceeds to talk to him in a way that is every HR's nightmare. I ask the jury again, in what world is this rated PG? I understand that it's innuendo and it's probably gonna go over most kids' heads, but here's the thing, as an adult watching it, it's not even funny, it's just straight up disturbing. She's essentially doing what men typically do to women in movies and objectifying them, but I find this extra disturbing just knowing the fact that he has the brain of a child. It just feels like very icky. And then it somehow gets even worse when she takes him home to do work in front of her book club.
Oh, I should have taken my blood pressure medication this morning. Nice scarf, Jack.
Thanks.
I know I said it, but I'll say it again. If the roles were reversed and these were old men leering at a young hot woman doing work, that would not fly. Or like people would be calling up Netflix and being like, yeah, this is not PG, this is not family friendly. But when it's a man, it's funny. After spending hours ogling at Jack, the women are nice enough to give him a ride to Kathy's diner, and it somehow becomes even more uncomfortable.
Why is there no beverage for that ice?
Because I like to eat the ice.
Ah, yeah. Nothing is sexier than an alpha male ice crunching competition. If I didn't get the ick from this man eating jellies off the table, hunting for vampires in Kathy's house, helping that old woman push his car, right now this competition would push me over the cliff into the Atlantic Ocean. I cannot figure out why Kathy is being so nice to this guy. Why is she willing to become an accomplice to his crime? I mean, it's a petty crime, it's just stealing clothes and streaking. But still, you don't know this dude. Just let him go to jail. I personally would throw him to the curb, but maybe there's a reason that Kathy is keeping this guy around. I mean, everyone knows the old saying, if you bring a guy home and he decorates and eats jellies off your table and hunts for vampires and talks to a lot of old women, which is really weird, but I'm not gonna get into that right now because I've talked about it a lot, then he's probably your soulmate or a snowman.
Okay, but there are some ground rules. I drop you off, I pick you up. You don't leave the school. You don't tell anyone you're a snowman. And you certainly don't tell anyone you're the guy the sheriff's looking for.
Is she talking to her love interest or her son? Why is she being so mom-like to this guy? I know that this script is written by a man because no woman fantasizes over a ripped man-child. This is simply not our fantasy. But this movie sure is a fantasy because Jack gets hired to work at a school. This man doesn't have fingerprints. He doesn't have a birth certificate. You're telling me that they didn't even run a background check and he got hired to work around kids?
Would you maybe be interested in going with me?
I'd really like that. Yeah.
Cool.
Great, now he's learning dating behaviors from middle schoolers. Famously, the best people to get romance advice from. I mean, they've got like a whole 12 to 13 years experience. Jack gets help from the middle schoolers to woo Kathy, because that's completely normal. But before he can claim her heart, he has to set his free of guilt.
I'm sorry about the damage, and I hope that the glass, and I'll return the clothes tomorrow.
Keep them.
So you're not mad?
But he can be mad at Christmas.
Yeah, obviously, because everyone knows during Christmas time, it's basically the purge. All crime is legal. You can do anything you want and no one can be mad because it's Christmas. This fictional town takes place in upstate New York, but if this was NYC right now, he would be leaving that store in handcuffs. And if this was anywhere else in the US, no cop would give advice to a grown man about kissing.
What about, kissing? How do I know if she wants to kiss me?
She's gonna lean in a bit. She's gonna make a face.
That's a face?
This is a face. It's like I want to make out with you face. You know? Okay.
Two strangers in a town square.
They might kiss. Yes, we will.
What?
Okay, Okay, why is everyone treating Jack like he is a Greek god? No friend would give kissing advice even like this. Like, this is very intimate. Okay, so he's a white man with muscles. You want to see that? Go walk on a Planet Fitness. It's not all that special. But Jack's pretty privilege might be the only key to getting Kathy to go out with him.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I have to ask you a question, and I thought I knew how I was going to ask it, but now I'm just getting too nervous, so I'm just going to come out and say, Kathy, will you please go to the school's Christmas dance with me?
Now that is romance. I have always dreamed of a hot snowman come to life, asking me to chaperone a middle school dance with him. As Lizzie McGuire says, this is what dreams are made of. And Jack's next move, that's what nightmares are made of.
Do you remember when you asked if there was anything else that I bought online? There is another thing that I bought online.
This would be really cute if it weren't for the fact that earlier in the movie, Jack told Kathy that he was online shopping using her credit card. That's like buying my mom flowers, but getting the cash from her wallet. I mean, the thought is there, but it's not exactly a gift.
It was pretty expensive, so if you want me to return it, I
Stop, I'm keeping it.
Really?
It's really beautiful, thank you.
Whoa. Okay, not only does he use her credit card to buy her this, he then backtracks and basically calls her broke. Kathy, you cannot be this desperate. You gotta get out of this right now. I need Tyra Banks to yell at you.
I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this!
But what do I know? I mean, maybe despite the fact that he's using you as a sugar mama, he's actually the perfect guy for you.
Let's get you inside.
Jack, you were ready to kiss a cop a couple scenes ago, and now you're having performance issues? This poor girl can't even pull a snowman. My confidence would be like basement level if this guy did this to me. But you know, maybe he's got a good reason.
The truth is, I don't know how much more time that I have left. And even though I want to fill every minute of it with you, I just can't help but feel like I'm being selfish.
Oh, okay, let me get this straight. So you're expecting me to believe that a guy who did not know how credit cards work, his only friend is a middle school boy, somehow in the course of the day now has the maturity of a 40-year-old man. Now that is the magic of Christmas.
Ready for the eggnog?
Oh, can I please take it out there myself?
Wait, it's a steam bath out there.
I know, but I just really want to say hi to everyone.
This dude is acting out over wanting to bring out a bowl of eggnog. This is a guy that you're in love with. Girl, this is a man-child. Go to Walmart, get yourself a baby alive, much less work. But fortunately, he'll get out of her hair soon because the sheriff finally catches him.
I got footage of you naked in the streets, amigo.
I am beside myself right now. This whole restaurant is trying to get a peek at this guy's nudes. How is this PG? But what's perhaps more out of pocket than their collective reaction is all of their naivety.
He's a snowman that magically came to life. Remember that muscular snowman from the Snow Sculpture Festival?
I thought he looked familiar.
You cannot tell me right now that this whole restaurant of adults are like, yeah, he's a snowman, only explanation. No, I don't think that anyone here believes that. I think that he is a hot piece of eye candy, and they haven't had that in town in a while, so they're like, well, if we go along with this delusion of his, then, you know, maybe he could stick around. And of course, it's Christmas. No one should spend time in jail on Christmas. Again, the purge. All crimes are legal on Christmas. Why can no one be mad on Christmas?
You've been well trained, I give you that. You almost slipped through the cracks, too.
If we could just turn the temperature down.
Oh, you like that, wouldn't you? To keep it cool under pressure. In my house, we like it hot.
Oh my god, why is everyone in town so down bad over this man? I'm like disturbed by this interaction. Okay, so the sheriff didn't actually want to catch him for justice. He had some other plans in mind. I mean, what is this like innuendo he's using in his body language? It's honestly a bit much. When I clicked on the thumbnail for this movie, I was 100% expecting a cheesy Christmas movie, but what I was not expecting is this like lustful romance that's rated PG, by the way, if I didn't tell you like 8 million times, where everyone is so infatuated with this man to the point where it's honestly concerning. Everyone in this town is insane, but if someone doesn't get Jack outside soon, he might die.
He's dying. I need you to hang in there, okay? I'm going to go, but I'm coming right back, I promise.
Give me a break. This life or death scenario is taking place in a single cell in the sheriff's office. I would understand the dramatics if this was like a dark dungeon or something like that. This reminds me of when I'm in bed and I am so comfy and the idea of getting up is just crippling to me. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then I step 1 foot out of bed. I'm like, oh, that wasn't so bad. This is that same scenario.
What is this, posse?
It's everyone in town, Nate, hoping you decide to do the right thing.
He can't get out of the cell because Kathy has to pay his bail, but Kathy doesn't have the money. Girl, that's what credit cards are for. Just swipe that thing, worry about it later. I think it's so funny that the entire town bands together to try to get this guy out of jail. Meanwhile, what is that, like 20 people? I'm expected to believe that's the entire town. I think there are more people at the middle school dance. Where are they? But as long as these people can come up with the money for bail, that's all that matters.
You're still like 10 shy. Matthew, what are you doing here?
Helping, Dad.
This man did a bad thing. Why are you helping him?
Because he's my friend.
I love that his son is the one that gives the last $10 because I understand the sheriff's confusion. I would be like, why is my son talking to someone who was streaking in the town square a couple nights ago? Also, who let him work in a school? I feel like I actually would probably let Jack out of jail and be like, all right, what administration member of the school do I gotta put in this jail cell? But even though the whole town came together, all 20 of them to post bail, it wasn't enough and Jack bit the frost. But only for 2 seconds, otherwise this movie could not be called a romantic comedy.
Kathy?
Jack.
Through the magic of a kiss and an Android phone, Jack is now a real man. And there's only one thing left to do. Celebrate Christmas. What a thoughtful gift, a repair book so she can fix the heat herself. Because she didn't need a man to feel heat with. She needed a man to fix the heat for.
Hawaii? For both of us? Together?
Merry Christmas, Jack.
Merry Christmas, Kathy.
Oh, brother. Wow, so romantic. Now, I guess Kathy is just gonna live with this guy because he's homeless, essentially. Wow. Romance. But there's no time to think of any of the logistics because Kathy's Christmas gift to Jack is gonna fix everything. I am very concerned about this woman's finances. How is she affording to go to Hawaii? That's like $1,500 a ticket minimum, when she couldn't even afford a $2,000 bail for this man. Kathy's gonna need a Christmas miracle when she looks at her credit card statement and realizes she can't pay anything back. Final thoughts. This is the kind of movie that makes me believe that I could be a successful screenwriter if I just whacked my head against the keyboard and hope for the best. This film was the most uninspired, lazy chat GPT thing I've ever seen. There's a video on YouTube, I'll link it right here, where Netflix does an AI version of their Christmas movies, and I kid you not, this was an almost identical plotline. Definitely not gonna be in the rotation of my holiday movie classics, but if you're into hot snowman man-childs, this could be your favorite movie. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what you want me to watch next.